Rock Metal Podcast, Episode 4, Forever Still. Fantastic. All right, I am recording then, Maya.
Uh-huh.
All right, Rock Metal Nation, I've got on the line today Maya from Forever Still. Forever Still is a female-fronted rock band from Denmark, and I'm super stoked to have Maya on today. So, Maya, welcome to the show.
Thank you, and super stoked to be here.
Mm-hmm. Why don't you tell Rock Metal Nation a bit about yourself?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you already came up with a nice introduction, and I guess we make a lot of different music, but yeah, hard rock, melodic rock, alternative metal, people put stuff and genres on it, and it's all good. We like to make music from the heart, and that means something to us, and hopefully does that to the listener as well. And we put our first release out in 2013, and we went from there.
Wow. And I like, it's funny because always thinking about, everyone's always wanting to know, what is your genre? Like, what are you actually like? Well, we're post-traumatic technical drop metal. Like,
yeah.
It's ridiculous. You're like, we like to make music from the heart, and we like to make sure that resonates with people. So there you go. Right?
I know it's always good to have like a point of reference. And if we introduce it to people, we call it melodic hard rock, but people call it whatever they want. And I think a lot of it makes perfect sense because we're not just in a little square genre box, you know?
Yeah. And melodic hard rock, I think, is a really good way to put it. Really. Sounds good to
Thanks.
me. Yeah.
Good. Cool.
Yeah. What inspired you to pursue a life in music, Maya?
I guess it was the only thing that really made sense for me because I was trying, like a lot of people do, like try to get an academic education, and everybody tells you have to study, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to fit in that box somewhere in life. And at some point in my life, I just realized that being happy had to be the most important thing in the world. And what had always made me most happy was creating music and singing and doing something creative. And it just, I realized one day that I had to do that.
And I love that because it's like, well, number one, it's the only thing that made sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then the next thing is, well, being happy is the most important thing in the world. Going back to that, we're making music from the heart and we want to resonate that with people. Well, being happy is the most important thing, and I needed to be creative because when I think of, for example, this podcast that I started, well, how can I create something that serves others or shares creativity with others? And it's just, I don't know, it's awesome, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And just, I think at some point in your life, you just realize what's important and what's not, and not to sound like super dramatic, but you realize that life is really, really short, and why not make the most of it? I mean, what's it gonna matter if you did something that was really safe and secure, and then you're gonna sit there being 70 and going, oh no. Mm-hmm. I missed out, and I just don't want to be that person. I think a lot of people are that person, and it's not going to be me.
Absolutely, yeah. It reminds me of a business trip I took. Really quick side story. There were these old people that were sitting at the breakfast table that I was at, because I was on business. This was a couple of years ago. And they were bragging to the waiter that they had finally made it to retirement, so now they could enjoy their life.
Oh, yeah. See, that's what I don't want to do. And I don't want to be one of those people who live for the weekends, if you know what I mean. Okay. I want to live for every day. And I have a good side story as well, because I was at my dentist's, and she reminded me that she had a client who was like 70, and he came in, and he just decided one day that he hadn't really done what he wanted to do with his life, and he had decided to pursue his dream of, I'm saying it right in English, archaeology?
Yeah, archaeology.
Yeah, and he decided to get educated like in his late 60s, and now he was 70, and he was super happy because he was doing something that made him so happy. I mean, how cool is that to even though it's late, you realize it, and you do something about it, and he thought it was just fantastic.
Yeah, and I think that's a really powerful message for Rock Metal Nation is like, you know, it's kind of like a sidestep, right? But it's never too late, so do what you got to. And speaking of never too late and doing what you got to do, what's the fateful story or the big story behind how you guys found each other?
I think it's pretty chill and luck, I guess. I met with Mikkel, who's my co-writer and co-founder at a show back then, and we just started talking together, and he sent over some instrumental music, and I just immediately started getting like themes and melodies in my head, and I sent them back to him, and we like ping-ponged a bit about it and worked back and forth, and we just had really great chemistry from the get-go and decided we wanted to keep working together and create music. And later I've just realized how freaking seldom you find someone that you really connect with on that level. And luckily we were in it for the same reasons, and we just found a specific kind of chemistry that worked out. We had been through some of the same things, or at least we could connect our emotions on a musical level, and that's the birth of Forever Still.
Boom, I love it. Speaking of the birth of Forever Still, what inspired the name Forever Still?
Well, we took some time, definitely, to find a good name, because we didn't want to end up with something that we'd regret or want to change or that somebody else had. So we definitely spent some time just brainstorming good names and good meanings. And we started writing music before we figured out the name, which I think is quite important, because how are you going to find a name for yourself if you don't know what your sound is? So we definitely wrote some songs before we decided on the name Forever Still. And, well, we decided on it because we wanted, how can I explain it? We wanted to explain that our music is kind of, like I said, kind of heartfelt. It's quite dark at times. And we wanted to convey that emotion of feeling forever still, like stuck in a place, like in a dark place, in a depression, where it can feel like it's impossible to move out from that place. And it feels like you can be stuck there forever and everybody's just moving past you full speed. But we also wanted it to relate to the recovery stage, the next stage, where that forever, that the stillness you have is like a peace of mind.
Yeah, no, I like that. Convey the emotion of feeling forever still, where it feels like it's impossible to move past it, but then relating to that clarity, that sense of clarity that can come from there as well.
Yeah, definitely, and that can come when you get a chance to move past it, when you get past that feeling of it being eternally dark and eternally dreary, and you're just stuck forever. When you get past that feeling, you can get to a feeling of peace and peace of mind, because you've been somewhere really bad and you've come to some place that is just good.
Yeah, that's how we learn our lessons too.
Yeah, true.
Now, you did mention ping-ponging some ideas back and forth with Nichols, and making sure that, for example, he has like the instrumentals and you've got the melodies and things like that. Is that the process behind how you guys write songs, or is that a little bit different now?
Yeah, most of the time it is. And it usually it won't be like a full song. Maybe it'll be a verse, maybe it'll be a chorus, maybe it'll just like be bits and pieces. So usually when I get back with vocal melody, that inspires Mikkel to make the next part. And I've also come up with some vocal ideas recently, and I've put some sounds to it, like physically I met up with Mikkel and said, okay, I had an idea that the rhythm is going to go down, 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 so whatever, and it's going to be a riff here, and can you please make it magical, because right now my head sounds like a really cool guitar I can play. And that was a really fun way to work as well, but that's kind of new for us, but cool in another way, and yeah, I like both ways, and hopefully we're going to do a lot more of the vocal melodies first, where I have some stuff in my head that can be translated to instruments.
Yeah, that's perfect. Let's go and listen to the first song, Scars.
Yeah.
Tears won't drown the pain inside me, searching, seizing, breathing, bleeding, screaming, what you wanted me to, but instead I've ended up being everything you wish I everything you wish I everything you wish I with the starless night, keep them out of sight with the light of day, make them fade away, make them fade away, yeah, make them fade away.
All right, boom, coming back from Scars. Maya, what was the inspiration behind Scars?
The video or the song?
The song.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's hard the inspiration behind, because like we just talked about our writing process, and Mikkel sent me over the instrumentals for this one. I think the verse and the bridge first, I suppose. And I mean, usually when I get the instrumentals, the themes are in my head immediately. I know what kind of emotion it is. I know what kind of vibe it's going to have. So obviously the lyrics are perfected over time and not immediately, but I get the vocals, melodies first, and themes first. So it came very natural with the kind of instrumentals that were there. And it's a very I think it's a very emotional song, both in the sense that it's very angry, but it's very sad as well. And I just felt like it touched on both of those things.
Yeah, I mean, anger really is sadness, just expressed in a different way, right?
Yeah, a lot of the time. I agree, definitely.
That's really cool, though, knowing what kind of emotion and vibe it's going to have, and having those melodies and themes, and then developing the lyrics thereafter. Now, it kind of sounded like you wanted to talk a bit about the video. What was the inspiration behind the video for that one as well?
Oh yeah, I mean, we wanted it to be quite dark as well, and I just did an interview recently, and he said that he got a lot of the like abandoned asylum kind of vibe, and I get that. We wanted it to be quite dark, and the feeling of being just left alone in some place really, really crappy. And we filmed it in a basement that had been flooded at the time previously, so it was like still kind of wet and slimy, and the walls were really gross, and it was like, yes, this is perfect for Scars.
Great place to be breathing in, right?
yes, beautiful and disgusting and everything, and it's great.
Yeah. Boom. No, it turned out really well.
It did, yeah. I'm super happy with it as well, and it was a lot of fun to edit, and just, yeah, I think we had, again, it's just, the visuals is just an extension of the music, so it's all about just the emotion and piecing it together from that. I'm really happy with it too.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and listen to Miss Madness.
See Miss Madness in herself.
right, coming back from Miss Madness, what was the inspiration behind Miss Madness? You're not Miss Madness, are you?
I created a character for it because all the music is definitely coming from personal experience, personal emotion. We never write something that we can't relate to. And yes, I'm in charge of the lyrics. And for this song, I wanted to create a character to project it onto, because I felt like I wanted to make it very visual. It was very visual in my head, and I felt like that was easier when projecting it onto a character who could be like in a fantasy kind of universe that she's in.
Okay, very cool. Very cool stuff. Really kind of a random question that I have for you, but a lot of guys both guys and girls on Rock Metal Nation who want to start bands up themselves are always curious what kind of advice bands who are already doing it would have. So, Maya, what kind of advice would you have for anyone looking to take over the world, such as yourself?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it sounds kind of generic, but it's really not. Just talk with your band members and agree what you really want it to do, because a lot of the times I've found that people don't have the same wish for the band. Some people are really happy with it being a hobby band, which is great, but it's not great if you don't agree on it. So I'd say that's part one. Figure out early on, are you all in the same boat? Do you all want to work super hard 24/7? Do you all want to go out on the road and tour a lot? Is that your common goal? And if you have a common goal, it's all about really, really hard work and quality material.
Yeah, no, I love that. Basically, any relationship that you get into, make sure that...
I know, exactly. And that's the thing. I mean, figure it out early on, because if you're going to change members, it's easier to try and find some people early on. And it's not a shame to not want the same things, but you're going to be so much more pleased with yourselves and each other if you figure out early on. Like, if you're not equally serious about it, it's going to suck really fast.
Yes, it will. Now, Maya, what exciting news do you have coming up for Rock Metal Nation?
A lot of news. I mean, we're working on a couple of music videos still for the album, and the next one coming up is going to be for Miss Madness, and we have filmed it over the course of, I think, 6-7 months, because we wanted to do something very, very particular. So I'm extremely excited about this one. I'm currently editing the, storyline shots. Yeah. And we're going to shoot the band's shots this Sunday. So I'm super excited about that one. And we have still a lot of shows coming up for the album tour. We're going to go to Germany for the first time this year. And we're going back to Italy. We've already been in the UK. Hopefully we can go back there too. And we're working on a lot of more shows in new cities, in new countries. So I'm so stoked about that.
That's awesome. So we've got Miss Madness filmed over the last 6 to 7 months. That's intriguing, actually.
Yeah, I know.
Going to Germany for the first time, so hallo Deutschland. And going back to Italy, going back to the UK, love it, love it, love it. Any chance of North America anytime soon?
Anytime soon, I don't know, but at some point, most certainly. We're definitely working on it, just going anywhere out of Europe. But all the boring stuff is that you need enough fan base to actually make it happen. And that can sometimes be a bit difficult because you need a work permit and you need to pay for quite expensive travels besides just accommodation and transportation and all that boring stuff nobody wants to hear about. But that's true. Yeah, I know. Because when people say, when are you going to come to my country? Don't you want to go? Like, we always want to go. I mean, we'd be everywhere in the entire world if it was just a question of wanting to go. But it's just not. It's a financial question a lot of the time, unfortunately. It's
weird. It's like it's a business or something. I don't know. It's weird.
I don't know. I don't even know. It's crazy.
All right, Maya, how can Rock Metal Nation find out more about you guys and your work?
Yeah, I think the easiest way is probably to go to foreverstill.dk because we have all our social media linked in the banner. And on foreverstill.dk, you can also get a free download to see if it's something for you.
Ooh, fantastic.
Yes.
All right, then. Well, unless you have anything else you want to let Rock Metal Nation know, I just wanted to thank you, Maya, for taking time out of your day to come on and share some of your heartfelt creativity with the world.
And thank you for having me. I had a great time.